Okay, it's rap pack to my pulse flat. We keep it real, no false rap. I got 4 cars and they all black. Got 4 bras and they all that. We call that ballin'. Doing this is my calling. Flow is so appalling. My phone off and she calling. I'm like, yeah.
What's going on, Internet, and welcome back to Nth-Level Entertainment, the most awesome series, comic book, and movie-related YouTube channel in South Africa. I am your host, Z the Entertainer, and thanks for tuning in. Today we're reviewing Supergirl Season 3, Episode 10, Legion of Superheroes. 2 days after Kara's defeat by Rain, the DEO and the Legion use the latter's technology to heal Kara from her injuries. This saves her life, but she remains in a coma. The Legion's Kaluan member, Brainiac 5, enters her mind to try to wake her. Though Sam continues her life with Ruby after spending Christmas Day with her, Rain takes control over her sporadically without Sam's knowledge, and Ruby remains unaware of her mother's divided personality. Rain continues her rampage throughout National City, leading to a chain of confrontations with the DEO and the Legion. Ultimately, Kara emerges from her coma and joins them when Rain seeks to destroy a prison facility. So the episode itself actually starts with Kara in the actual coma after suffering the ass whooping she got last week from Rain. Now I have to point out that Rain is supposed to be a female version of Doomsday as far as the comics go. But I don't know, the CW showrunners chose a very humanoid sort of look for her. Unlike in Smallville, where they actually, like made such a huge effort to make Doomsday comic book accurate, with the gray skin and the bulky demeanor and the spikes and everything. Rain basically just, has a black costume, some sort of Kryptonium emblem on her chest, and a 50 Shades of Krypton mask on her face. I don't know what the inspiration for the look was. I understand that, like in Smallville, they playing her character like she's someone who actually transforms from being human into being this doomsday-ish kind of thing. But there isn't much transformation there, like I feel like a little bit more effort could have been taken in as far as that's concerned. But the good parts about this is that we get to see more of the Legion of Superheroes, and we finally get to meet Brainiac 5. I'm excited about actually seeing the character himself, but I hate the way he was portrayed. He looked like someone who was trying to, I don't know, like he looked like he was like from a bad Star Trek show that didn't have enough budget. I mean, the 3 Brainiac discs that you see on his forehead were almost in line. There was virtually any sort of like differentiation as far as how they were aligned. It's supposed to sort of form a triangle, and you could even see like the seam on the piece that they put on his forehead for those 3 circles stitched into whatever mask he was wearing, and his hair looked like he was Albert Einstein resurrected to come and help the Legion of Superheroes. It's like he was like a god. He was like a bad cosplayer. But the character himself though was pretty cool. The guy who the actor who plays the character did a fantastic job. He actually managed to bring to the screen that whole thing of a genius who's like super socially awkward because he's all about logic and all that stuff. I like the way he handled his interactions with Kara in a coma while simultaneously being in the real world and interacting with other people, especially in the last fight sequence when we see him like piloting the Legionnaires ship. That was pretty cool. The ship itself looked pretty cool as well. That was great CGI. We also see James Olsen, Guardian, my man, getting with Lena Luthor, the hottest woman on that show. I've always had a huge crush on Katie McGrath. And she got with my favorite character on Supergirl, which is Guardian. I've always said that Guardian never gets his due. He did this time. He got with the girl. So we also see Monel, more of Monel and Seven Girl being very reluctant to actually join the fight because apparently they were on some sort of a mission that involved time travel. We got a shout out to the Blight, who apparently, uh, instigated some catastrophic event in the future that destroyed the Earth, well, all life on Earth at least, and even its history. And the secrets to how to defeat them apparently were hidden in their DNA. So they couldn't actually risk getting into any fights. like to avoid the risk of whether, like, if they die, the information that they need to save the future would be lost. But eventually, with Kara spending more time languishing in her coma, and Rain going on a rampage and attacking criminals, they had to eventually actually join the fight and try to intervene. So we see Rain again going to her fortress of dirt and being, like lied to and taught by this priestess that apparently is the hologram that comes with the fortress, much like Jor-El is the artificial intelligence that comes with the Fortress of Solitude. So basically, this priestess or whatever the hell it is tells her that she needs to cleanse the world of evildoers and sinners. So naturally, Rain goes on a rampage and starts murdering villains. Although the way they depicted it, it's more like she beats them to death with like one punch, especially in the last prison scene. Go figure. And we also see John Jones, Martian Manhunter, once again filling in for Kara using his shapeshifting when she has to explain the fact that she's sick to Lena Luthor. It's always a fun Martian Manhunter actually get to use his shapeshifting ability in that particular manner, and to see Melissa Benoist actually play Kara, not being Kara, but Martian Manhunter. It's always such a nice testament to their acting abilities and their range when they do things like that. And we also get to see, like I said earlier, James and Lena dealing with what happened in the previous season when they kissed and the awkwardness therein, which finally is actually culminated in them accepting their relationship at the very end of the episode. That was pretty cool. James, of course, being worried about Kara and her not being well and not being able to tell this to Lena just added to the sexual tension. Because Lena obviously just assumed that it's because, James was with Kara before, although it was really just one episode before James got brainwashed by the Kryptonian protocol that they had in season one. It was a cool episode. Not as much action once again as in previous episode. I don't know if this is like a trend with CW shows that when we come back from a long hiatus, it's gonna be more a character-driven storyline thing than an action thing. I don't know, but because of that, it didn't it didn't entertain me as much as other episodes. We did see a lot of action, but it was mainly from Rain's side as she was doing her rampage. Supergirl was mostly in her coma, trying to subconsciously come to terms with getting over what happened to her. According to Brainiac, her fear was actually keeping her in her coma, and she needed to sort of like rediscover who she was, and maybe also allow herself not to feel so much responsibility as Supergirl, but rather accept who she is as Kara Danvers, and allow herself to sometimes make mistakes and forgive herself. I think maybe that was the message they were trying to push. And we also got a shout out to Streaky the Super Cat, who was actually shown in the coma. And Kara explained her existence as it was her way that she learned how to be gentle because of her super strength. Quite smart. Kudos to the writers on that one. So anyway, Kara does eventually wake up and joins the fight, just in time to stab Rain with highly concentrated kryptonite through a syringe. Um, so Rain eventually escapes the fight and gets back to the Fortress of Dirt, to where the Priestess of Dirt tells her that there's more Rains out there who just need to be awakened. And we see the false prophet from previous episodes who was preaching about Kryptonian religion, who was now in the prison as well, but was spared by Rain because he said he wants to serve her. We then see him in the Fortress of Dirt as well. So, like I said, this wasn't a bad episode, more character and story driven than action. But we didn't get much exposition really, because all we had was just, the Legion joining the fights and Rain escaping again to live to fight another day. I guess that's to be expected, seeing as how she's sort of the season's main villain. But I really don't like the fact that they didn't make an effort to make her look Doomsday-like. She's just a sexy Kryptonian with a 50 Shades of Grey mask. But yeah, based on all of those flaws and Brainiac's shoddy makeup work and that terrible wig he was wearing, I would give this episode 2 symbols of hope. out of 5. I'm really hoping next week's episode is going to be better. It probably will, because this was just our return from the hiatus. So maybe they're trying to save the better stuff for the latter half of the season. I don't know. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you thought of this episode if you've seen it. And this will be it for me. So check me on the Black Lightning review, the show that started also the day after Supergirl. I watched the pilot sometime this morning, and I'll be putting up my review later on. So in anyway, I'm going to be signing off on this one. If you enjoyed this video, please click on the thumbs up icon and leave us a like. And if you'd like to see more from Nth-Level Entertainment, please click subscribe. And be sure to click on the bell icon to be notified every time I drop new content on the channel. Till then, everybody, stay awesome, take care of each other, to infinity and beyond.
Turn these zeros into tens and commas. Bitch, I'm ballin', closing $1 million deals. Catch me swerving, burning $100 bills. How I feel when you ballin', going places they never go. It ain't all about the money, but I still.
Hey guys, thanks a lot. If you want to see some more from us, click here or click here.
So in mainstream with my main